The blizzard howled through the Montana plains that bitter December night in 1892, blanketing Elizabeth Thompson's sprawling 8,000-acre ranch in a white fury that seemed straight out of hell. At 45, Elizabeth was a force of nature herself, raven hair streaked with silver, pulled back in a practical bun, her figure still turning heads in her deep blue wool dress. But looks didn't matter when isolation gnawed at you like frostbite. Then, through the swirling snow, she spotted him, Jacob Riley, her newest ranch hand, battling his way to the main house. Just 26, untouched by the world's cynicism, every bit the rugged ideal her late husband had never been. He pounded on the door. She swung it open. "Mrs. Thompson, the horses are bedded down." Jacob gasped, his breath fogging the air. Their gazes locked, and in that instant, something ignite draw, forbidden desire that had nothing to do with the storm raging outside. Was one stolen moment worth risking everything she'd built? Little did she know, the answer would shatter her world. 6 months earlier, Jacob had arrived at the Thompson Ranch on a dusty spring day, with little more than a saddlebag and ambitions as vast as the Rockies. Born in Kansas, orphaned young after his pa fell in a mining accident, he'd wandered from job to job since 19, scraping by and dreaming of his own spread. Elizabeth watched him from a veranda that first morning. Most cowboys were rowdy types, all spit and swagger, but Jacob was cut from finer cloth. He handled his mount with effortless grace, and when he addressed the other workers, mostly Irish immigrants, his tone carried genuine respect, not the usual disdain. "Ma'am, word is you're hiring for the summer drive," he said, tipping his hat. God, he was striking, tall frame filling out his faded denim shirt, hazel eyes that pierced right through her, a stubbled chin hinting at quiet determination. "Can you manage a herd, Mr. Riley?" she asked, stepping closer, her pulse quickening against her will. "Jacob Riley, ma'am. And yes, I can handle whatever comes my way." The air crackled with unspoken heat. She backed off, heart pounding. $40 a month, plus board and bunk. His brows rose. Standard pay was 30. "That's mighty generous, Mrs. Thompson. Good hands deserve it." She hired him then and there, a decision that would either save her soul or doom it. Within days, Jacob had the crew running like clockwork. He could tame broncos that bucked off veterans, cipher figures better than the town accountant, and each evening, as he nodded good night on his way to the bunkhouse, Elizabeth felt a stir she hadn't known since her girlhooded, deep, aching want. Elizabeth had wed Robert Thompson at 22, a merger of her father's lumber empire and a cattle king's fortune. Robert was twice her age, all business and no fire, 23 years of dutiful nights in separate beds, polite dinners masking emptiness. When he died 4 years back from a fall off his horse, she'd grieved the stability, not the man. Passion? That was a stranger until Jacob Riley galloped into her life like a wildfire on the prairie. The hands admired him, but Elizabeth saw deeper. His evenings poring over land maps, the way he pocketed every cent, the longing in his stare across the endless fields. "You aiming for your own outfit one day?" she asked one crisp September evening, as he delivered his weekly tally to the house. "Yes, ma'am. That's the plan. Plans can backfire, Jacob. So can settling for less." She handed him tea, their fingers brushing. He flinched like he'd touched a live wire. "Ought to head out, ma'am." "Ought to, and wanna ain't the same." The words hung heavy. He rose, all coiled tension, 6 feet of restrained power. "Mrs. Thompson. Elizabeth. Call me Elizabeth. I know your name, ma'am. And I know my station." He left, but the spark had kindled. Whispers spread among the crew-side glances when she brought lemonade to the fields. She was dancing with dynamite, and the fuse was lit. What unfolds when a widow starved for affection crosses paths with a one man who could upend her empire? It started on a Wednesday. Coyotes had been stalking the herd, and Jacob rode out solo to scare them off. Dawn broke as he cornered the pack five, snarling beasts with glowing eyes. His shotgun jammed. He hit the dirt hard, fangs tearing into his arm before the others fled at the thunder of backup riders. They hauled him to the house. The bunkhouse lacked proper bandages. Elizabeth saw the blood staining his shirt and barked, "Out, all of you! I'll handle this." Alone with him, her hands trembled as she sliced open the fabric. She'd glimpsed bare-chested men beforehand, toiling in the July sun, but this was Jacob, warm and vital under her touch. "This'll sting," she warned. "Already does, ma'am." She doused the gashes with brandy, ignoring how his muscles flexed, how his scent leather, pine, and pure masculinity filled the room. "You were reckless out there. Brave, but reckless. Couldn't lose the stock." Their eyes met. His breath hitched. "Mrs. Thompson." "Elizabeth." She bandaged him, faces inches apart. "Say it. Just once." "I can't." "Say it." "Elizabeth." The name dropped like thunder, echoing through her. She finished in silence, every inch of her alive. Her hand lingered on his chest, feeling his heart thunder. "Your trouble, Jacob Riley." "No, ma'am." "You are." He stood, wounded arm careful, but neither pulled away. Toe to toe, breaths mingling. The crew's gossiping. "I know. Reverend Hayes pulled me aside yesterday, asking if I was minding my manners with the boss lady, and told him to butt out." Jacob grinned, lighting up his face. "That's my woman. My woman." Her legs weakened. "I should sack you. Send you packing before the talk gets worse." "You should, but you won't." "Why?" "'Cause you're starved for real, and I'm the first man who's seen you true." She retreated, palms sweaty, but that night, dreams of coyote howls and tender caresses haunted her. She was doomed to finally free. The blizzard struck like divine wrath. Elizabeth had dispatched the hands to town earlier, save Jacob, who stayed for the barn stock. The cook, Mrs. O'Leary, had gone to her kin the day prior. They were utterly alone. She busied herself with supper, ears straining for his boots on the porch, mind racing with forbidden what-ifs. His knock rattled her core. "Livestock safe, ma'am, but this squall's fierce." Snow caked his coat. His cheeks were raw red. "Get in here, warm up." She poured coffee laced with whiskey, hands unsteady. He thawed by the hearth, steam curling from his damp wool. "Strip those wet layers," she blurted, then flushed. "I'll manage." But his voice was low. "Elizabeth." The gale screamed, windows shuddering. They sat opposite, propriety intact, but the space between buzzed like lightning. "Tell me about Kansas." "Your folks." "Not much story. Pa gone in the mines. Ma followed from grief. On my own since 17. Maybe that's why I've never." "You know, why have you stayed pure?" She couldn't stop the words. "Maybe, or waiting for the one." Silence fell, thick as the drifts outside. "Jacob, you'll say I'm too green. You're a proper widow." Tongues will wag. He stood. She followed to the window, reflection mocking Hera, woman vibrant, yearning. "What if I skip all that? Then you're the gutsiest soul I know of the maddest." He turned. She felt his heat. His palm cupped her face. "We shouldn't. We can choose, Jacob. For once I choose." His lips met hers gentle, then fierce as she yielded. Decades of frost melted in seconds. Her fingers fumbled his buttons. He groaned. "Elizabeth, you sure?" She led him upstairs. Firelight danced in the bedroom. "Shy now," she whispered. "I've never wanted like this. We'll take it easy." His touch revered her, tracing curves as her gown slipped away. She felt adored, alive. Her underthings pooled. She stood bare brave. His eyes worshipped. Then she undressed him, marveling at his youth, his strength. On the bed, explorations turned urgent. She gasped under him, discovering ecstasies unknown. "Please," she begged. He poised above, eyes blazing in crash. The front door burst open. Voices below. "Mrs. Thompson? You in?" Jacob swore, rolling off. "Dress fast." She scrambled, pulse frantic. The voices neared. "1 minute," she called, voice cracking. Jacob whispered, "Back stairs I'll sneak." "No, stay. We'll bluff." But the magic shattered. Reality flooded in. What madness had gripped them? Sheriff Harlan wasn't solo. Reverend Hayes loomed behind, brushing snow from his overcoat, eyes sharp as knives. "Evening, Mrs. Thompson. Road's buried. Saw your lights. Mind if we hole up?" Of course. Her hair was tousled. She smoothed it. Jacob emerged from the kitchen, rumpled but clothed. "Sheriff, Reverend." Harlan's eyes narrowed. "Riley? Didn't figure you'd be inside after dark." Storm rattled the Mares. Mrs. Thompson offered tea while I waited. A fib, but plausible. Hayes sniffed suspicion. How charitable. In the parlor, Hayes cornered her alone while Jacob chatted with Harlan. "I'm worried for you, Elizabeth." "I'm fine. Alone here with rough types? It's unseemly. I run my affairs." But whispers abound. "About you and that pup." She stiffened. "What whispers?" "Favoritism. Extra pay. The looks." He leaned in. "Jacob Riley's half your age, 26, to your 45. Scandalous. He's 26, not a boy. Close enough to stir pots. Banker Ellis has asked the court to use solid. Fitting. Ellis, 62, paunchy, with sour breath and greedy hands. Everything Robert was amplified. "I'm not marrying." "You should. For respectability. Your soul." The word stung. "If you persist, you'll ruin the ranch name." And him? Tarred and feathered out of Montana. The threat boiled her blood. In the kitchen, normal talk mocked their turmoil. As dawn broke and the storm eased, they departed, Harlan cordial, Hayes judgmental. Jacob approached. "I should go." "No." "You heard him. If I linger. If you bolt, they triumph." But dawn's light exposed the peril. "Last night changed us." "Yes. But forward? That's a minefield." Spring thawed the land by May, wildflowers carpeting the valleys, but Elizabeth's heart stayed frozen. Jacob vanished one foggy April dawn, weeks after Sheriff Harlan relayed community concerns about their unseemly bond. No charges, just hints Jacob should seek greener pastures. She raged, vowing to confront gossip, but Jacob chose for them. "Won't drag you down," he said, saddling up. "You merit better." She watched him fade into the mist, a void swallowing her. A month on, she rebuffed Ellis's sue not for love, but defiance. Whispers swelled, but she held firm, selling off land edges to fund a search. Word came via telegram. Jacob in Wyoming, scraping for his own plot. She rode out alone, 3 days hard travel. Found him mending fences on a modest claim. "Elizabeth." Shock lit his face. "I choose us. Damn the talk." They embraced, the world be damned. They wed quietly, built a life on his land hers merged in. Scandal faded, strength won respect. Passion endured, a testament to forbidden fire kindled right. What do you think? Was Elizabeth right to defy society for love? Or should she have played it safe? Drop your take in the comments, agree. Disagree, share your stance. Let's debate.